Hey guys, how y'all doing today? I appreciate y'all tuning in. Today's gonna be some gameplay through Panda's room. They have a website you can go to, which is on the left, mypandasplayhouse.com. And like I said, they got very good rules. And like I said, the biggest thing that I love about them is they give away $13,000, y'all. Every month, they do one time out of the month. At the end of the month, you'll see on the website, they got a countdown. And they do 10 $1,000 winners. And then throughout the month, they give away $750 divided by 30 people. Everybody gets $25 a piece. And like I said, that's cash, so that's a big plus to me because there are not a lot of groups that give back. But like I said, we're gonna get in this gameplay, and you'll see it kind of didn't do much for me. I loaded a pretty big amount, and like I'd use one of my tactics I always use. You know, sometimes just leave the game alone and do something else, and then come back and play in a couple hours. And we're gonna see if that worked for me in the next video. But if you continue through this one, you'll see it wasn't bad gameplay, but it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to for such a big load, and having to get to a certain amount to cash out, that I just didn't feel like it was doing a lot. And I never really betted too big starting off with, which might have been my problem, because a lot of times I feel like when you bet big at the start, instead of just starting at 15 cents, if you're gonna go in big and deposit big, go ahead and start at 40, 50 cents instead of starting at 15, 20, trying to work your way up. Because I think a lot of times it throws stuff off, and I feel like you wasted a lot of your money that you could have spent shooting at bigger amounts before you ever switch to that amount, if that makes sense. Like I said, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. And like I said, make sure you go check out Panda Room on Facebook. And they have a group as well on Facebook. And you have to make a deposit with them to make it to the VIP group. And they got like a tier system they work on as far as your cash outs and how you get the points to be entered into the drawings through like referrals and deposits and such things that'll all be listed in the description of the video. Like I said, I just appreciate that y'all trust me enough to go check these places out and let them know that I sent you, because that's how I make my money, is because I'm not monetized or nothing like that on YouTube. So I got to have like referral links and stuff like that, which will be in the description as well. So like I said, I just want everybody to pay attention in this video and just see how things were just not going like I want them to. Because it was giving me all the bonuses, but it really just wasn't paying me what I have seen it pay me before on these bets. Because I've seen it pay out a lot on 15 cents. Not saying nothing real crazy, but I have seen it pay out $600, $700, $500, even though it's not as common. Like I said too, I just feel like sometimes it does better if you go play for a little while and then you just leave it alone and come back into a different game. Like I said, this bonus, it did start off really well. It gave me the multiplier and it set me up for a decent win. So like I said, it didn't run me down, but it wasn't really taking me up either. So it was keeping me stagnant, and I feel like when it starts doing that it slowly starts taking it, so you don't really notice it as fast, but it eventually is going to take you down. So like I said, I just stopped and regrouped, and I went and done something else for a little while, and I hopped back on, and you'll see that in the next video that it was very beneficial to do that. So like I said, I just want y'all to pay attention to it, because like I said, sometimes you can be getting all the bonuses, but they're not really doing anything for you, because it took $110 for you to get the bonus, and it only gave you 110, so you're right back where you started. And like I said, yes, it is kind of fun to do it every once in a while, but the key to this is to making money. So like I said, I just really think that sometimes you just gotta think of another plan, or go ahead and just say, hey, I'm gonna try it again later. Right now is not my time. And like I said, it was very beneficial, and you'll see that in the next video. So make sure you subscribe, like, and turn the notification button on so you know that we dropped the video. That way you can go check it out and maybe, you know, learn some new things that help you out. And while you're doing that, make sure you go ahead and go check out Panda's Playhouse. And like I said, that's their website, pandasplayhouse.com. And they have Facebook. The name of that page is Panda's Room. I'll put the link as well in the description. Make sure it is a business page, so make sure you look for that. It's not another page, so make sure you don't click on the wrong one and get sent to someone that's not them. So make sure you use the link that I post below. That way there's no way that you can get it wrong. So like I said, I really appreciate y'all, and I just want y'all to tune in to the next video and see how this plays out. and maybe just add that to your arsenal of techniques on things to do to help you maximize your profits and lose less. So like I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. And like I said, I appreciate all 193 y'all for subscribing. And I appreciate y'all checking out my videos. Please share them. Whatever you can do to make sure that we all get the channel to grow to a bigger amount of subscribers. But like I said, if you watch the gameplay, as I said, I started out with $320, y'all. I've only got the 450, and I've had all the bonuses. So like I said, I feel like that's a little bit not where I want to be. So we're gonna go ahead and stop playing here in a second. I'm just gonna jump off, log off, go do something else, and come back to this gameplay later on, like I said. So you'll see that sometimes getting off and just, you know, logging off for a while, go do something else you gotta do that day, and getting back on later that night definitely can be beneficial. So like I said, that's what we're gonna do. Check in for the next video, and I hope y'all enjoyed this one. And if you ain't already hit that subscribe button, y'all make sure y'all hit it.